Hello there dear YouTubers, my name is King1992 and today I want to make a video regarding the new Inazuma map update. I know the map has been a few days old, but the question is how I feel when I was in Inazuma for the first time instead of this monster or Liyue. Now, first of all, do remember that when you guys first played this game in the Inazuma version, that is, I mean, not Inazuma, I mean Mondstadt and Liyue. The environment was very different. How much different was it? Let's say the first time when you met the characters from the Mondstadt, such as Amber. When I first met Amber, the game feel like a bit friendlier, okay, like I was actually enjoying what the game has to offer. Like it wasn't a gloomy experience, it was a niceful experience. And then once the Archon quest started, then few more characters were introduced, such as Kaya, Lisa, and Mona, and few more characters were introduced when I was playing this game. Now, all of the characters which were introduced in the Mondstadt, that is, all of them were enjoyable characters. Like they had their bad experience, but even after them, the characters were highly enjoyable. Like they try to get along with you, and as you as a player, or me myself as a player, I actually felt like, okay, this game has good potential. And then once you have completed all the Archon quest in the Mondstadt, you will be eventually be going to another area called the Liyue. Now, truth to be told, at first I thought that the Liyue environment was gonna be a bit hostile, because why should I say that? Because the way the Archon quest started in the Liyue was basically like all of the characters, all of the other playable characters thought that you are actually a certain villain who actually killed Zhongli or Rex Lapis or Morax, whichever you guys can call him. So eventually I thought, okay, how long is this gonna go on? So eventually after the Archon quest 2, I think, after the Archon quest 2, some of the characters such as Ningguang or Ganyu, they started to act like a normal Mondstadt character, like cheerful, happy minded, etc. So eventually what happened was I started to like the characters or the gameplay mentality of this Liyue environment. Because when I first came to Liyue was like, oh, it is a lot bigger and a lot more eye-popping experience when compared to Mondstadt. Because Mondstadt were very familiar, but when it comes to good-looking houses and the NPC, as well as the Ganyu and Ningguang character, which were actually the government-related people in the Archon quest, that is, all of them were friendly. So after you have ended the Archon quest, you also realize that the character called Zhongli, who is actually the governor of this land, who was also a very friendly character. So okay, so I thought, okay, then this game is definitely gonna be better, even in the Inazuma part. But I didn't had any doubt that it was gonna be a good experience when the Inazuma parts is gonna come out. But eventually my expectation was actually shattered. And why is that? First of all, when I started the Archon quest in the Inazuma part, the first one was when I met Kazuha. I thought that maybe Kazuha made some mistake, so maybe Kazuha's friend was partly to blame or something like that. I thought that maybe how come the Archon of Monstant and Lue are good and this one has antagonistic vibe. So I thought maybe uh, Kazuha might have been exaggerating a bit. This is what I actually thought. But no. As I entered the gameplay, I realized that Kazuha was not exaggerating. It was actually true when the Archon Quest 2 started. When the Archon Quest 2 Act 1 started, I realized that the environment is very gloomy here. Okay, how much gloomy was it? It was so gloomy that I started to lose interest in the story mode. Now I know that some story mode is going to be better than the other, okay, but I was saying that I started to feel a bit gloomy about it. So I thought, okay, what should I do about it? I am not feeling very good when playing this Inazuma part, and I thought, okay, since I'm not feeling well in this Inazuma part, what can I do? I thought maybe if I can wait it out, maybe I'll be able to see whether this Inazuma story is actually good or not. Okay. And then came the Ayaka quest. Okay, Ayaka. I got Ayaka in 20 pulls, which is also very good for my condition because less crystal had to be used. Now, when I first started the Ayaka quest, Ayaka story quest, I was still not feeling very good, okay, until the moment when Ayaka wanted to cook something for a certain character. Only then, when Paimon suggested that what type of food did that character wanted to eat, okay, when Paimon asked Ayaka and Ayaka said something outlander type of food, then I thought, okay, the game has finally started to change a bit. And then eventually I went to Mondstadt and cooked a pizza, and once the pizza was finally made, I was finally able to enjoy this game a bit. Why is that? Because the concept of Inazuma kind of bit gloomy. I mean, you guys know why it is gloomy. It is gloomy because the Archon of the Inazuma is actually worried about something. So as a result, she is stopping all the people from going in and out of Inazuma. But that in itself is a gloomy environment. Okay. So until the moment Ayaka said that something outlander food would be good enough for that certain character which Ayaka wanted to meet. So I thought, okay, the game has finally changing its mood. And afterwards, I started to feel good. So even when I was playing the Yoimiya story mission, I also felt good because I realized that the Archon quest of Inazuma is actually much gloomier than I thought. Okay, how much gloomier was it? So much gloomy that when I started to play the character quest in Inazuma, I actually started to feel enjoyable when going through the story. So eventually I realized that, okay, it was meant to be like that. It was meant to be gloomy. But it was so gloomy that I regret it of what a non-friendly environment a game actually looks like. I mean, I have played many games, okay, where the characters go against such a big calamity or such a big group, okay, but even after all that, the main characters win because a main character always wins. But even after all that, the Inazuma part is actually something that I realized that it felt a bit more gloomier than usual. Now I realize what this game was meant to pursue. This game is eventually gonna become even more better, no doubt about it. And a good example would be like if I were to go near this card. As you can see here, it is written you are warrant. The warrant is for your arrest, please. And then Paimon says, "Oh no, run." So it is so much hostile environment right now that even if you were to go near this Archon castle, you will be immediately kicked out of it, okay, or you must need to run away, otherwise you are gonna get arrested. So I realized that this game is one of those games which gonna change majority people's mind, because I have been playing this game for about 11 months and many of the things which I have collected and upgraded, many of the characters and many of the weapons which they have, all of them I collected a lot of them. For example, each of these number indicate how many weapon has been combined together to make this weapon. 3 weapons were combined to make this one. So I had a lot of weapon and a lot of memories regarding which type of weapon I have got or which type of artifact were also I used or destroyed in order to make some other artifact stronger. I did a lot of things, but the only gloomiest part of the game after 11 months was the Inazuma Archon quest. I'm not saying that the person who made this Inazuma arc is bad. No, I'm saying whoever did that, he or she did whatever the thing he or she had to done. I'm saying that gloominess is actually part of life. I actually play games to try to escape from harsh reality, but this Inazuma part actually makes me realize that even in games, if the story is actually written better, you can feel all type of emotions even through this game. And I do not mind that, because if you do not challenge yourself to go through a bit of hardship, then even in gaming you will see that many players throughout the world will just complain about how hard the game is, this and that, etc. But majority of the player doesn't actually complain about how the feelings of the story is like. Okay, now truth to be told, this is all I have to say about this, the feeling of Inazuma or the experience of Inazuma. Now, in case if you are wondering that why did I wanted to make this new approach to my channel, that is because I myself is getting a low amount of subscribers, so I thought maybe there is something which is lacking. Maybe I am not actually that much open to my audience. So I thought maybe there is some part of this game which I still haven't discussed. I must need to discuss to you, so that you guys might feel actually good about it. That yeah, we finally have a guy who actually knows how the Inazuma actually felt when it first started. So that is the reason why I wanted to make this game, this video, to explain to you guys that this Inazuma is gonna get a bit more gloomier. Eventually it will reach its final end, but we must also need to realize that David The entire region of Tibet is actually divided into 7 sections, right? So the first section was Mondstadt. The second section, the second section is Liyue, and the third section is Inazuma. If the third section is Inazuma, then there are 4 more maps to cover. And in case if you are wondering about difficulty level have increased when you are to compare the enemies from Mondstadt to Liyue. The enemies in Liyue are actually stronger than the enemies in the Mondstadt, but the enemies in the Inazuma are actually more harder, to the point that if you do not have good characters, or if you do not have good character let's say combinations, then you will have a hard time beating most of the enemies in Inazuma. That much hard it is. So overall, what is my conclusion? My conclusion is, no matter how hard the story is gonna become, I wish the story will be as good as any other story. Like, it will must need to have some good parts, some bad parts, some funny parts eventually, to make majority of the people realize that this is a game where you can feel part of reality, even if it is just a game. Okay, so this is my overall conclusion on how I actually felt regarding Inazuma. So if you guys have the same experience, then please leave it in the comments, so that I know that yes, many of the people are also felt the same regarding to this Inazuma map and the Inazuma story. Okay, anyway, that will be all for today. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons to get more of this type of video on a regular basis. Thank you.